What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Coach Ken, otherwise known as Fierce to Fit, and I have a little bit of a different video for you guys today, but we are here at the Beyond Built Retreat House. So my good friend Chad Morgan is hosting a retreat for his clients, and I'm really excited to just show you guys how he's built up his company culture. I'm basically gonna sit down and interview him, interview his head co-coach, Far, and basically just show you guys how they've put this live event together. Also just show you guys some snippets of the actual event itself, what I'm gonna be presenting on with my co-coach, Miss Caroline Biddle. So basically today we're gonna walk everyone through a guided future self visualization, and coming into the retreat I really just wanted to give everyone a really good takeaway, really dig deep, make them feel, and just walk away knowing that they have, you know, really gotten something out of this weekend that we were able to present to them. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of the presentation that me and Coach Caroline do, and then I'm going to sit down and interview Far and Chad, and basically just really give you guys the lowdown on what a live event is, how it can help your company culture, how it's helped their company culture, and really what they've done to put this together. So let's head into the video. I'm going to first start off by showing you guys the visualization we do and then go on from there. A reminder of how good it feels to leave the noise and the stress of the outside world and journey into a quiet and peaceful inner world. And as you sink deeper, I want you to imagine that you're standing in front of a door. Notice the color of this door, the height of the door. Maybe it has a doorknob. There's something waiting to greet you on the other side of this door. It's yourself 1 year from now. As the door opens, what do you notice? I want you to greet your future self and notice the way that your future self returns your greeting. Welcome you into this time just 1 year from now. Good, now bringing this visit to a close, thank your future self for being here with you today and for sharing so much wisdom. I just want to encourage you guys to spend more time in imagination. Like, we spend so much time thinking about who we were, or, you know, defining ourselves, or letting other people create an identity for us. You are this. You go home to your parents' maybe house for holidays. Oh, well, you do this, right? And they start defining you. So you start living by those behaviors and those actions because other people are defining you. These kind of visualizations give you the answer that you need. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from stepping into that person right now, from being confident and gentle and kind and happy, right? For being excited, having fun, being proud of yourself.
I think that's a big thing that we can get wrapped up in, is we get trapped in our current reality, and you can't have higher actions unless they're matched with higher thoughts and higher beliefs, higher intentions. There's no way to get there if you're not already taking the active steps to be that. So if you visualize that and now you have a clear picture of what that is, how are we actually going to act upon it, right? There are so many studies done on the power of visualization. They use it in sports, they use it in business meetings, in sales. When you actively sit there and visualize success, repetition after repetition, studies show that that is more impactful than you actually going and putting in hours on the field sometimes. Two groups, visualize, practice. This group was more successful because they visualized their success more often. Whether or not you think it's real, showing up like that and putting in those reps in your brain, you're actively visualizing that success, and you have no choice but to step into it because that's now your reality. You don't act as if you're failing because that doesn't exist in your head anymore. And once you start to act upon that, you have no choice but to execute that way. So that's why it's so important to actively take these steps, to work on your mindset, to start stepping into that so that you start acting like that. And it's important that we start to address what's holding us back and what we're resistant to in order to step into that. And that's where limiting beliefs come in, past beliefs that other people put on us that we don't identify with anymore. So you want to discover where that resentment's coming from. Do you not feel worthy? Are you scared? Just like we talked about last night, are you more scared of failing or more scared of success? Like, what happens if you do succeed? Are you worthy of that success? Do you feel like you deserve that success? You can see it, but a lot of us end up self-sabotaging because we don't actually believe we're worthy or that we deserve that kind of success. So I want you guys to think of a number on a scale of 1 to 10 and think about where that resistance is coming from, how you're resisting stepping into that, And I want you to think about an action step that you can take right now to decrease that by like 1 or 2. What can you actively start doing? Can you start visualizing every morning? Can you meditate on it? Can you do affirmations? Can you do gratitude? What's something that's holding you back from stepping into that right now?
But when you actually open up your mind, you open up your heart, right? You then almost become a guide for other people too, because you get to see, wow, this helps me so much. This feels so good, right? A lot of times we sit there and we're like, I wish I could do this, right? Do you guys ever like notice yourself doing that? I wish I could be like this. I wish I could do that. Why can't you? There's no reason that you can't. I had this like massive epiphany just like a few months ago, and I talked to Caroline about this literally like last night. I was like, oh, I wish I could like be the person that does this, or I wish I could like go out and do that. And then I realized like, wait, there's literally nothing stopping me from doing that thing right now, right? If you guys wish that you can, you know, make a better PR in the gym, if you guys wish that you could train more, you know, consistently, if you guys wish you could hit your macros or your nutrition better, there's literally nothing stopping you except for the fact that now you've put a barrier in between you and actually doing the thing, because it's a wish. It's not an actual action plan for you, right? So in order to be able to solve problems, you need to reverse engineer what mindset you need to get in order to make that actually feasible for you.
You are the main character of your own story, and you are quite literally writing the narrative for yourself.
All right, what's up guys? So we're here at the Beyond Built retreat. I have 2 wonderful humans with me who I want to introduce to you guys. We're going to chat a little bit about how they threw this retreat, why they do them, a little bit about their company culture. So I want to introduce you to my 2 awesome friends, Chad. Chad, if you want to maybe kick off.
Yeah, of course. Hey guys, so nice to be on the vlog. We are here at our 6th, I believe, 6th Beyond Built retreat, which is kind of nuts to say. You know, it's all happened so quickly. The first one we did in Los Angeles, I think at the time, this is really when Beyond Built really started picking up pace. Far and I started doing things together. He had this wild idea on a Zoom call. He was like, yo, we're gonna have a retreat. Next thing you know, like, we really have built such a community inside of our Facebook group, mainly just by doing challenges and amazing group calls and getting people super engaged, making them feel welcome, making them feel safe, you know, sharing vulnerability in that group. And we saw so many connections and relationships being built. And all of a sudden, I think it was Bree who posted, she was like, hey, like, does anyone want to meet up in LA for a weekend? And then next thing you know, there's comment after comment after comment, and it's this huge big thing. And I think I called you and I was just like, yo, like, let's do this. This is happening. So fast forward to now, we've built this company on the premise of being more than just physical. And so we see it more than just competing, more than just macros, more than just fitness, more than just an online coaching company. And I think the beauty of all of it is we will give, you know, all the credit to the amazing clients that we have here, 100,000%. You know, their ability to connect with one another, rely on one another, you know, support one another. And it's really cool because yes, they have obviously access to the coaches, but a lot of them, you know, rely on one another, come to us on the group calls. And I think it's been really awesome to see how we've created such a safe space for people to express, for people to be vulnerable, for people to share their stories. And I really want to emphasize on that story piece. I think everyone brings so much value to the table when they share their story. And a lot of these people coming in, they've never really shared their story before. They've never actually seen their story valued. And I think as people come and like fly across the country and meet people they've never really even met before besides online, it's really scary for people, but it's highly uncomfortable, and it creates rapid growth for those people. They always want to come back, and they build lifelong relationships, and it improves the relationships outside of Beyond Built, their work life, and even their own fitness journey is what we've come to see. And that's why we've really seen this as a massive part of what we do, and it's something that we will continue doing and making bigger and bigger.
So how do you feel like having the live events and like having the retreats has helped your guys' like client culture, or just your company culture in general with like coaches as well?
I think a lot of it comes down to there's a cultural dynamic of connection and community, right? There are things that in a digital space you cannot replace without having human touch. Yeah. And when you realize just how important that human touch is, the live events become that much more magnified for what we spend so much time focusing. Obviously, like, you want to build a brand and you want to, you know, have a community, and, you know, we can sit there and be like training and app and coaching and all this stuff that goes into it. Yet when you come to a live event and you realize the congruence between what you get on the digital platform is identical to what you experience when you meet Chad, you meet myself, you meet our coaches, our team. That's where people become even further invested, right? We always joke about the Apple idea. It's like you can own an iPhone, and then when you go to the store and you realize you get the same experience with the people there, that's why you stay. And so that's how we look at it for us, is can we create a culture where you never want to leave? There's no reason to. Like, you have the family, you have the experience, you have the emotional connection, you have all the things you always wanted coming up and growing up. And I think that's the beautiful thing, is when you get into the connective piece of how all of this actually works, everything else becomes a byproduct. Because we can both tell you, we've had 6 events, and each event we've learned more, that after the event you just go back and you integrate, whether it's how you do check-ins or how you give a certain client a certain kind of feedback. And your clients are the people who teach you the most, right? They are the ones who determine exactly what you need or they need, and that's what you have to give them. You know, we have this whole idea, I think, early in entrepreneurship, it's like, oh, I don't want to work for anybody, and the lesson you learn quickly is, I actually work for every single person that is our client and every single person that's our employee. And so can you see that, and the more that happens, and the more you see how much value they come back, because they have this delightful experience being a part of what you do. And when you're delighted, and I mean, just like you buying shirts or pants or anything else, why would you go anywhere else?
Right. That's awesome. So for coaches out there, because it can be scary putting together a live event, right?
Yeah.
So I know a lot goes into the back end of it, but for anyone out there who's wanting to get to the point of hosting a live event, or might be on the fence of, am I at a place to do it, or should I be doing this? What piece of advice would you guys have for coaches who are looking to maybe start running up their first live events? Any few tips you guys have, things to maybe avoid, things to think about that you guys are like, damn, I wish I would have known that the first time I held an event?
Yeah, I feel like this is a lot of the time I spend. We do it together, but the events is something I spend a lot of time on. I think asking is the best thing you can do. Ask your clients what they want, right?
Yeah.
Like, we, in the corporate world, it's customer sat surveys and all that stuff, but when you have this service with a lot of culture and a lot of different personalities, ask them what they want. And then, kind of like he said, Bree actually was the one who posted. You were playing video games the whole day, and I was like, hey, Bree posted and we're having an event. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, you're coming, book your flight. But she gave us, she's a gift in our business. I don't think a lot of times we even always appreciate that, is she opened the door to, hey, do other people in the community want to go to LA? It was COVID and nobody had traveled. Let your people who you work for, ask them. Be like, what would you guys like to see? And I think what we've done every single experience, which is probably why we have more people come every single time, is we're always like, okay, what would you like to see differently? What kinds of things do you want to see happen? How can we make it better when you're not all of us together, and how can we make it when you're here? And we're sitting here, and I don't even think we're 2 days in, and it's by far the best event. And that's not at all diminishing how great it's been. It's just the lessons we've learned throughout it only make it better. So also, don't be afraid that the fact that maybe you go to the first one and it isn't perfect, but it's actually perfect because that's what you need to have experience before you can make it this, massive thing that our first retreat was in a house half the size of this, with a pool. And now we're in a place that's double the size of the pool and a fire pit, and we're having pizza and grilling and all this stuff. You got to start somewhere. Appreciate the littleness. People come for the connection. They don't actually care that we have this massive home. Is it nice to be able to host more people? Always. But they didn't come because we have a pool and 10,000 square feet. They came because they love the community experience they got.
Right.
So.
Right. Cool. Anything else?
Yeah, I think making them feel. I notice I always look at the camera. You guys, is that normal? Is that normal? I'm just used to the vlog style.
Yeah, you are.
So I think one thing that I've noticed is that making people feel welcome from the start. I think feedback that we've seen from even clients that come to the retreats is like, yeah, the first couple months I was in Beyond Bill, I was pretty intimidated. There's so much going on. People are so close. There's so much engagement in the group. I feel new. So I think as we've grown and as we've come to do these retreats, it's allowed us to take a step back and see the importance of really making people feel safe and welcome from the get-go, and allowing them to say, hey, don't be overwhelmed, we can take this step by step, I'm here for you, and just valuing the relationship piece with your clients first and foremost. And I truthfully think, I made a post on this today, it's something that I'm most grateful for, something that I love about coaching the most, is being able to learn about people's stories. You know, being able to learn about who they are, where they've come from, what their goals are, and I draw so much inspiration from them. And so being able to get to know someone on a genuine level, to me, you know, I almost put before the results, because I understand and trust in the relationship itself to produce the results when we develop that kind of relationship together. And so place a big emphasis on the relationships with the clients, and you can do things in your Facebook group to get them engaged, like challenges and group calls, and getting people to share their wins, getting people to share their goals for the month, like keeping it very simple for them. But simple goes a long way. You know, not a lot of people have the opportunity to say, hey, like, I'm winning in life and here's why. And they can't necessarily express that to a lot of people around them. I think people lack that community. Like, I've always searched and longed for a family, for a community, and to have it now, I'm very, very grateful. And now to be able to give that to other people is the most fulfilling aspect for me. So I think really, you know, finding a lot of meaning behind the relationship, whether that's your core value, maybe you have a core value of community and family as well, like understanding what's the intention, what's the meaning behind why I want to build these relationships, what's the greater good here, and continuing to pour as much into your people is what's going to allow you to kind of have that flourishing community. It's all a byproduct of the energy that you're putting in. So understand that in order to create that family-like community and have that energy within your team, it really is going to start with you, and they're going to carry it forward.
Well, guys, Beyond Build is a massive, you guys have grown like so much just in like this past, even just year that I've like gotten to know you, not even like 7 months probably. But if you guys haven't checked out, you know, the socials for Beyond Build, for Far, for Chad, please do. If you guys want to share where they can find you, just because I would love for you guys to just even look at like the client page, the community page. Like, you guys will learn so much just from looking at the brand itself, the family that you guys have cultivated here. And you know, if you're dreaming of building out something like this, coming to a retreat, like these are incredible, just like role models to look up to and like walk alongside to see how you guys can do that. So if you guys maybe want to share where they can find you.
Of course. You can find me at Chad Morgan Thick on Instagram. I mean Fit. Sorry. Chad Morgan Fit on Instagram. We have a podcast. It's pretty cool. That's the Beyond Built podcast. I'm on YouTube. Chad Morgan on YouTube. And, I think that's all I got. I mean, I'm on Twitter. You can add me on Facebook if you want me to. But yeah, I think don't have Snapchat, but
Follow Beyond Built Training first and foremost, and then you can find me on Farshad Sarafi on any platform. Thank you.
That was fun. Thank you.
Sweet. Yay. Okay, cool.